If you are over the age of 60 and you take vitamin B12 every single day, I want you to pause for a moment and listen very carefully. This is one of the most common and misunderstood health issues I see in older adults, and it is quietly affecting millions of people who believe they are doing everything right. Nearly every week, someone sits across from me and asks the same question with genuine frustration in their voice. Doctor, I've been taking vitamin B12 faithfully for years. Why do I still feel exhausted? Why is my thinking cloudy? Why do my hands tingle? My feet feel numb, or my balance feel off? Not long ago, a 60-year-old man asked me this exact question. He had been taking vitamin B12 every single day for more than 7 years. He never missed a dose. His blood tests came back looking completely normal. On paper, everything appeared fine. Yet his energy had steadily declined. His balance felt unreliable, and his memory was noticeably worsening. He assumed this was simply part of getting older. What shocked him most was discovering that he was not actually deficient in vitamin B12 at all. The real problem was something far more subtle and far more common. He was taking vitamin B12 the wrong way. New research has made something very clear. There is one extremely common B12 mistake, especially in adults over 60, that can quietly block absorption and slowly damage nerve function without setting off obvious alarms in standard lab tests. And because this mistake often produces normal blood results, it is frequently overlooked by both patients and healthcare providers. In this video, I want to explain exactly what that mistake is, why so many doctors miss it, and how vitamin B12 should actually be taken after 60 if you want it to support your brain, your nerves, your balance, and your long-term energy, instead of just giving you a false sense of security. Before we go any further, take a moment to engage. Comment with your age and where you are watching from today. And if you are currently taking vitamin B12 but still experiencing fatigue, brain fog, dizziness, tingling, or numbness, write that below as well. Your experience matters, and it helps others realize they are not alone. Most people believe that if a blood test shows a normal vitamin B12 level, everything must be fine. That assumption is understandable, but in adults over 60, it is often dangerously inaccurate. Vitamin B12 is absolutely essential for nerve function, brain health, red blood cell production, and cellular energy metabolism. Without enough usable B12 inside your cells, nerves begin to malfunction. This is why early warning signs often include tingling in the hands and feet, balance problems, unusual fatigue, memory lapses, slower thinking, and that frustrating mental haze many people describe as brain fog. Here's the core issue. As we age, our ability to absorb vitamin B12 declines sharply. By the time someone reaches their early 60s, more than half of adults produce significantly less stomach acid than they did earlier in life. Stomach acid is not just for digestion. It is required to separate vitamin B12 from food and many supplements. Without adequate acid, B12 passes through the digestive system largely unused. I saw this clearly with a patient named Margaret, who was 71 years old. She complained of burning sensations in her feet, frequent dizziness, and a growing fear of falling. Her doctor checked her vitamin B12 level. The result came back at 420, which is technically within the normal range. She was told nothing was wrong. What most people do not realize is that a standard B12 blood test does not show how much vitamin B12 is actually entering your cells. It only measures how much is floating in your bloodstream at that moment. In older adults, B12 can look normal on paper, while the nerves themselves are still starving. This is why so many seniors take vitamin B12 for years and feel no improvement. The supplement is there, but it is not reaching the places where it is needed most. This leads us to the first major mistake. Most seniors take vitamin B12 as a standard tablet and swallow it with water, assuming it will be absorbed like any other vitamin. But in people over 60, this approach often fails. Vitamin B12 absorption depends on a protein called intrinsic factor, which is produced in the stomach. As we age, Intrinsic factor production frequently declines. Without enough of it, swallowed B12 tablets are poorly absorbed, no matter how faithful the routine is. This is not a rare problem. It is extremely common. That 68-year-old man I mentioned earlier was taking his B12 exactly as instructed every morning. Same dose, same brand, same habit. Yet, his nerve function continued to deteriorate. When we changed the form of vitamin B12 not, the dose's symptoms began to improve within weeks. This is why the form of B12 matters just as much as the amount. Now let us talk about the second mistake, and this one is nearly universal. Many people take the wrong form of vitamin B12. If you look at the majority of B12 supplements on store shelves, you will see the same name repeated over and over again. Cyanocobalamin. It is inexpensive. It is shelf-stable, and it is the least effective form for many older adults. Cyanocobalamin is a synthetic form of B12. Before your body can use it, it must convert it into an active form. That conversion requires healthy liver function, efficient enzyme activity, and adequate antioxidant capacity in adults over 60. That conversion process often slows down. I saw this clearly in a patient named Robert, aged 72. He had been taking cyanocobalamin for years. His blood levels looked acceptable, yet he continued to struggle with numbness in his fingers and difficulty walking. When we switched him to methylcobalamin, an active form of vitamin B12, the difference was striking. Within 1 month, his balance improved. Within 3 months, the numbness had decreased significantly. Research consistently shows that active forms of B12, such as methylcobalamin and adenine, are absorbed and utilized more efficiently in older adults. They do not require the same conversion process, which means they can begin supporting nerve function immediately. Another overlooked issue is how vitamin B12 is taken throughout the day. Many seniors take a single dose in the morning and assume that is enough. But vitamin B12 is water-soluble and cleared from the bloodstream relatively quickly. In people with absorption challenges, a single daily dose may not provide sustained levels long enough to support nerve repair. There is also widespread confusion about injections. Some people believe vitamin B12 injections are the only effective solution. In reality, injections can be very helpful in cases of severe deficiency, but they are not always necessary. High quality, sublingual B12, taken correctly, can be just as effective for many seniors. Sublingual forms dissolve under the tongue and allow absorption directly through oral tissue, bypassing the stomach and intrinsic factor entirely. This makes them especially useful for adults with low stomach acid or digestive issues. The key lesson so far is simple but powerful. If you are over 60, swallowing a standard B12 tablet may give you normal lab numbers, but it may not protect your nerves. Now we come to the third mistake. And this one surprises most people because it has nothing to do with dose or form. It has everything to do with consistency. Many seniors take vitamin B12 only when they feel tired. They skip days. They stop when symptoms improve and restart weeks later. But nerve tissue does not heal that way. Vitamin B12 is not a stimulant. It is a repair nutrient. Nerves require a steady daily supply of B12 to rebuild damaged myelin, the protective coating that allows nerves to function properly. Intermittent dosing interrupts this repair process. I saw this pattern in a 70-year-old woman named Elaine. She took B12 only on days when she felt exhausted. On those days, she felt slightly better, but her numbness, balance problems, and memory issues never improved. When she began taking B12 consistently every day, her symptoms stopped progressing. After 2 months, the tingling stabilized. After 4 months, her balance improved. Dot timing also matters more than most people realize. Many seniors take vitamin B12 late in the evening. For some, this interferes with sleep. Poor sleep raises cortisol levels, increases inflammation, and slows nerve repair. For most older adults, The best time to take vitamin B12 is earlier in the day, ideally in the morning or early afternoon. Hydration is another silent factor. Vitamin B12 works inside cells that depend on proper fluid balance. Chronic mild dehydration, which is very common in older adults, reduces nutrient delivery to nerve tissue. If you are taking B12 but rarely drink water, your results will be limited. Medications also play a role. Acid blocking drugs, metformin, and certain antibiotics can interfere with vitamin B12 absorption or utilization. This does not mean you should stop your medications. It means you need to adjust how you support your B12 levels. By now, something important should be clear. Most seniors are not making just one mistake. They are making several small ones at the same time. Each mistake reduces the benefit slightly. Together, they can completely cancel out the effect of vitamin B12. So what does taking vitamin B12 the right way actually look like after 60 in my practice? This is the approach that consistently produces results. First, the form matters. Active forms such as methylcobalamin or a combination of methylcobalamin and methylcobalamin are usually best for older adults. Second, the delivery method matters. Sublingual B12 allows absorption without relying on stomach acid or intrinsic factor. Third, dosage matters. For nerve and brain support, low doses often fail. Many seniors require higher amounts to overcome absorption barriers. A common effective range is 1,000 to 2,000 micrograms daily. Sometimes higher initially and lower for maintenance. Vitamin B12 is water soluble and excess amounts are safely excreted. Consistency is essential. Vitamin B12 must be taken daily. Nerve repair is slow and gradual. Improvements often occur over weeks or months, not overnight. Timing also matters. Morning or early afternoon works best for most people. Supportive nutrients can also help. Vitamin B12 works closely with folate and vitamin B6. Natural folate or methylfolate is often better tolerated than high-dose synthetic folic acid. Progress should be monitored by symptoms, not just lab numbers. Clearer thinking, improved balance, reduced numbness, and better energy are meaningful signs of success. I had a patient age 75 who followed this exact approach. After 3 months, her lab values changed only slightly, but her walking improved. Her falls stopped, and her confidence returned. That is real success. It is also important to be realistic. Vitamin B12 is powerful, but it is not magic. Long-standing nerve damage, spinal compression, uncontrolled blood sugar, chronic inflammation, or misdiagnosed conditions can limit results. In these cases, B12 should be part of a broader plan, not the only strategy. I want to leave you with one final story. A woman in her early 70s came to me convinced that vitamin B12 simply did not work for her. When we reviewed her routine, nothing she was doing was completely wrong, but nothing was being done correctly either. She was using the wrong form, swallowing a tablet she could not absorb, taking it inconsistently, and judging success only by lab results. She changed just a few things. 3 months later, she said, "I feel steady again. I trust my feet when I walk. I don't lose words mid-sentence anymore." That is the difference between taking a supplement and using it correctly. If you're over 60, vitamin B12 is not optional, but how you take it matters more than most people realize. Take a look at your routine tonight and ask yourself one simple question. Is this truly supporting my nerves and brain, or am I just checking a box? Before you go, comment below with your age, where you're watching from, and what form of vitamin B12 you are currently taking. If this helped you, share it with someone you care about. Many seniors are taking vitamin B12 the wrong way and have no idea why. It is not helping.